time for those deep sleepers.
Deep sleepers.
These are guys that are going extremely late in drafts. A lot of times you're getting undrafted in more shallow leagues. And we're saying, hey, maybe you should give those guys a little more attention. That's what we're saying.
That's the whole point of this video. Hey, take a look. And also, take a look at our draft guide, right? We have rankings on there. We update them as we see fit. And it's, we're shooting these a little bit early, so things could change. So definitely log into FantasySmackTalk.com, download our cheat sheet, get you all prepped and ready to go for the draft. Because some pre-rankings on sites are god-awful.
They are.
Like bad.
And we update them throughout the preseason and all that fun stuff. MARSHON Brooks, first guy I want to talk about with Memphis. This is a guy that has me baffled a little bit. We don't have him ranked super high. We think he should be going around the 110th pick or so. But he's going undrafted in a lot of leagues. And I know they have Dylan Brooks out there. I know there's a lot of question marks around his minutes, his usage, what's going to happen. But the guy averaged over 20 points a game last year. So, that's the thing that has me confused. Because we know he can do it. And even if there's question marks around minutes, he's still a great guy to stash on your bench and maybe just hope for an injury or something. I mean, the upside is too high. I don't fully understand it. I really don't. I mean, I know opportunity is everything in basketball, and he might not have much, but I just think at the very least he's a fun bench guy.
Going after pick 100 is Rodney Hood on the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I get it. He wasn't in the spotlight when he was on Utah. Then he came over to the Cavs, and everyone was like, oh my God, the Cavs made such a great deal. It's an awesome trade. Getting Hood is a game changer. And then he was terrible on the Cavs. But you gotta look back at his Utah stats, right? When he was playing in Utah, he had like 17 points, 2.5 threes a game, and everyone had him as a big up-and-comer. He's gonna now have a lot more chance to have a lot more opportunity with LeBron James gone. So it's very reasonable to think he can go back to what he played in Utah. After pick 100, that's a steal.
Sticking in Cleveland, talking about Osman out there, the small forward. And when you look at his stats, they're pretty awful. But he wasn't getting a lot of run, and kind of the same deal. I mean, when a guy like LeBron James leaves a team, there's a lot that needs to get picked up from what he left behind. In 16 minutes last year, he averaged 6 and 3, and he threw in a three-pointer. If he does end up starting, and he does end up playing anywhere close to 30 minutes a game, we think he could be a solid three-point specialist that you can get really late, that averages double digits a game. And right now he's basically getting undrafted. We think he should be around like 150th pick or so. He's just outside of our top 150. So we think he's a late round flyer in deeper leagues that could pan out.
Kevin Knox is a guy that got booed on draft night by the Knicks fans, but he's gonna be good. I don't know why they booed him. Well, they wanted Porter, and Porter's not gonna play this whole year probably. So they booed him. He's actually looked really good in summer leagues. Got a lot of good press about him. And the fact of the matter is he's going around pick 115, which we think is a great value for a guy that's going to step in. It looks like he's going to get a ton of minutes. The Knicks are saying he's going to play some 3, some 4, because Zinger, like we said, probably ain't going to play this year is what we're guessing. So with Knox being there, and even though he's a young guy, his game translates fairly well to the NBA. By no means is he jumping over the rim and dunking on people, but he's got a great mid-range floater. He's got a great shot. I think Knox is going to surprise some people this year.
I want to talk about Murray, point guard for San Antonio. And I know he's not the most exciting point guard or young point guard out there, but I think he's getting very disrespected. Now, these are early ADPs. These will change, but his ADP is currently around 120, which we just think is ridiculous. We think he should be going around the 80th pick. When you look at how he ended last year in April, he averaged 12, 6.5 with 2 steals a game. And I see that as, what he could potentially do for the season. I mean, he's not going to blow you away with his points, but double digits I think is very plausible. I think 6 to 8 assists makes sense, and he's going to get you those defensive stats. He is a very solid role player for your fantasy team, and steals can be hard to find sometimes. I think he's getting disrespected, and I think around the 80th pick makes sense for him.
All right, next on our list is Larry Nance going outside of the top 120, and I get it. Larry Nance just doesn't get a ton of run. LeBron James leaving doesn't help him that much because Kevin Love's still there. But Larry Nance is such a hustle guy, such an energy guy. It really reminds us of a younger Kenneth Faried when he came in. It was just gobbling rebounds, getting points. You know, in 23 minutes in March, which was like 12 games, he averaged 10 points, 8 boards. I think that he could plausibly get 26 minutes, 27 minutes a game. That could be a potential for him, and he could end up turning into a borderline double-double guy. And if you're in a deeper league, getting a guy like that outside of, pick 120 is a great value.
I want to talk about Pirtle, center for San Antonio.
Pirtle!
I'm sticking out there with the Spurs. You know, as the Spurs continue to evolve and slowly weed out their older players and bring in some of their younger players, at some point you got to think Gasol's going to be, his minutes are going to go down. And Pirtle's interesting. He's entering his 3rd year. He came over from Toronto. He's a former first-round pick, so he's got that pedigree. And it just looks like he could get somewhat of a run out there for them. And he's getting undrafted in most leagues, but we think he should be around the 110th, 120th pick or so, just as a late round flyer big man that could have some value. Obviously he's going to need a Gasol injury to have a lot of value, but at this point in Gasol's career, that might not be too far-fetched. So we think he's a good guy to grab one of your last picks.
So ADP is average draft position. We pull it from Fantasy Pros before you ask, and Josh Jackson is currently 112 on there. We have him ranked right around 70. And Josh Jackson was so good after the All-Star break that 70 might even be low for him. This kid's got a ton of upside. Post All-Star break last year, 18.7 points, 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 1.5 steals. And that team got a little bit better in the offseason. I know Trevor Ariza is there, but they're going to use the young kid. And, him and Ariza are going to share court time, so it doesn't really matter. Take this kid with confidence. It looks like there's a ton of upside.
Last guy I'm talking about is Buddy. Big fan of Buddy.
Yep.
Out there with the Kings. Bogdanovich is banged up. So it could, Hield could start the year starter. He might be their 6th man. He might play some point guard. We're not sure what's going to happen. The only thing I can be sure of is that he's going to get some minutes. He's going to be asked to put the ball in the hoop, and he's going to be a solid 3-point specialist for you. And I think he's going to average around 15 points a game. Right around there, maybe a little less. But his ADP is currently around 115. We think that's very much disrespecting his potential for this season. We think he should be around pick 90. We think he's got some upside. He's a fun late round pick, liking somebody.
So we shouldn't be banking on this fact, but we've talked about it before with Zinger possibly missing the entire year. We got other guys that we've been talking about. Tim Hardaway in one of our videos. We're going to talk about Zinger in our bust video. But Mario HEZONJA potentially is just going to get a lot more run because there's going to be a lot more minutes out there. The coaches out there with the Knicks have said they want a bigger small forward on the court. So you could see a Knox and a HEZONJA kind of starting and just trying to go with a bigger lineup overall. Or maybe that's why with Knox there, they feel they need a bigger guy at small forward. So it's really just an opportunity thing. He's currently going pick 165. So if you're in a deeper league, if you're looking around that value, or if we got him at like 155, you're looking for guys that you think are going to get minutes and therefore they're just going to get some stats. He's one of those guys.
So that's our deep sleepers. Now again, we don't think any of these guys are going to have amazing seasons. These are guys with some of your last round picks.
Or deeper leagues.
But leave some comments. Let us know what you think. Like the video, subscribe, get our cheat sheet. Good luck in your draft.
We out!